Noah, did you hear that?
Yeah. They both turned as the television, still playing in the background, erupted into chaos. The news anchor's voice shook with panic.
Good evening. We're interrupting this program with an urgent news update. We're receiving unconfirmed reports of violent attacks spreading through downtown. Authorities are urging everyone to stay indoors, to lock your doors, and remain calm. We have no idea what kind of virus this is or where it originated. Please stay tuned for further updates.
We're getting some very disturbing reports in, folks. What began as isolated incidents seems to be escalating. Our live broadcast was just interrupted, and we're now relying on citizen footage. This appears to be from downtown. People are running. Oh my. Did you see that? Someone just collapsed, and they're getting back up. This is unlike anything we've ever seen. Please stay indoors. We'll bring you updates as we get them.
This is serious. There's no signal. From here on out, we have to be prepared.
Noah said, "We have to get the couch." It scraped across the floor as they pushed it against the door. Chairs stacked. A heavy shelf tilted just enough to block the frame. Noah placed a hand on Elle's shoulder. Steady, but firm. We survived the night. That's the only goal. I can hear something. From the hallway came the sound of footsteps. Slow, dragging, uneven. A low growl. Something scraped against their door. The handle rattled once, twice. Noah decided to grab a kitchen knife from the counter, holding it tight, his knuckles pale. The door went silent again.
The apartment felt smaller now. The air was heavy with fear, thick and pressing. Every sound outside seemed sharper. The groaning pipes, the wind rattling the glass, and somewhere below, that low, inhuman moan that froze the blood in my veins. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the single candle they'd lit. My phone was dead. The power had cut out minutes after the TV signal vanished. The city outside was a patchwork of shadows, broken only by flickers of firelight in the distance.
Noah spread their supplies across the counter. He counted them carefully, lips pressed in a hard line. 1 pack of ramen, 2 bottles of water, half a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter. He sighed, rubbing his forehead. This won't last us more than 2 days.
Elle hugged her knees to her chest. So, what do we do? We can't exactly run to the store. Does this mean it's the end of the world as we know it?
Noah looked toward the door. We don't leave unless we have to. Out there, it's worse. We sit tight. Maybe help will come. But then came the sound. A voice.
Help! Please, somebody! It's coming! Please let me in! Is anyone there? No! Stay back! I just need to get out of here, please! Oh, get away from me!
Noah, someone's alive. We have to help her. We can always move everything back. Noah, let's at least try to save her, please.
Shh, quiet. He moved to the peephole, pressing his eye against a small circle of glass. The hallway was dim, emergency lights flickering. A woman clutched at a door across from them, crying, her hands bloody from pounding against the wood. But she wasn't alone. Just behind her, something moved, slow, stumbling. Its head lolled to the side, mouth hanging open. The thing's hands dragged along the wall, leaving streaks of something dark. Another figure appeared.
Elle, I'm sorry, but there's too many out there. We can't help her. Noah stepped back, his jaw tight. She's already done for.
No, she's right there. We can pull her in, shut the door before they kill her. Is this really the world we are living in?
Elle? Noah's voice snapped like thunder. If we open that door, they'll all come in. We'll die. Both of us. The pounding in the hall grew louder. The woman screamed as one of the infected lurched forwards, grabbing her by the shoulder. Her cries turned shrill, panicked, then cut off with a wet, tearing sound. Noah's grip tightened around the knife. His voice was low, bitter. That's the world now. It's us or them. Elle, deep down you know I'm right. A thud shook their door suddenly, making both of them jolt. The creatures had heard. Noah pressed a finger to his lips, eyes locked on Elle. The growling began. Elle, you need to find a weapon. We might have to defend ourselves. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Hands shaking. As Elle picks up a bat. We can survive this. We can't get bit or let them touch us. They seem really strong. We might not be able to get them off of us alone.
The pounding on the door grew louder. Each strike rattled the barricade, sending vibrations through the floorboards. The heavy shelf they'd pushed in front of the door trembled against the force. But then came a sound neither of them had expected: wood splintering. The door frame cracked under the relentless assault. The groans grew louder, closer, pressing against the barrier between life and death.
Elle stumbled back, her breath ragged. Noah, we have to run. I don't think I can do this anymore. Now that I can see these monsters up close, I can't do it. I'm so afraid.
He spun toward her, shaking his head. And go where? Into the hall with them? We need to try and kill one quickly before we get outnumbered. Another deafening crash. This time, the shelf shifted, sliding an inch across the floor. A pale, rotting hand forced its way through the crack in the door, fingers clawing at the air. Damn, this is bad. These creatures are really strong. We can't allow ourselves to be grabbed.
Elle let out a sharp cry, stumbling further back. Noah, watch out. This is a nightmare. I can't believe the dead is actually walking.
Noah lunged forward, slamming his shoulder against the barricade, forcing the door shut again. The hand withdrew, replaced by the furious pounding of more fists. He shouted over the noise, "Get something heavy, now!"
My eyes darted wildly around the apartment. Her gaze landed on the broken lamp near the couch. She grabbed its metal base and rushed over, pressing it against the shelf. For a moment, it held. But then came a sickening crash. The window. Glass shattered as another infected hurled itself through the balcony door, rolling onto the floor in a spray of shards. It rose slowly, its body twisted, skin pale and torn. Its head snapped toward Elle, its mouth opening wide in a guttural scream. Elle froze.
Noah spun around, eyes locking on the creature. He didn't think. He charged, knife raised, slamming into the infected before it could reach Elle. They tumbled to the ground, the knife plunging into its chest. But it didn't stop. Its clawed hand scraped against his arms, its mouth snapping inches from his face. "Elle, do something!" he shouted, straining to keep it back.
Elle's hands shook so hard she nearly dropped the lamp base. But when she saw the infected lunging for Noah's throat, something in her snapped. With a scream, she raised the lamp and brought it crashing down onto the thing's skull. The first blow staggered it. The second split bone. The third silenced it for good. The creature collapsed in a heap, twitching once, then lying still. The apartment went quiet, except for Elle's ragged breathing. She dropped the bloodied lamp, stumbling backwards.
Noah pushed himself up, his arms streaked with cuts. He stared at her, his chest heaving. For a moment, neither spoke. Then, from the hallway, the door cracked louder. More hands clawed through, more voices groaned, hungry and furious. Damn, there's too many of these creatures.
Elle's voice broke. We can't stay here. They'll tear the door down. We have to get out of the apartment, or they'll just outnumber us in this living room. We have to fight our way out.
Noah nodded slowly, his eyes sharp, his face pale. Then we run. Fire escape. Roof. Now. The doorframe gave another splintering groan. A head forced its way through the crack, teeth gnashing. Noah grabbed Elle's hand, pulling her toward the kitchen window that overlooked the rusted fire escape. Their only chance of survival lay in the shadows of the night. The fire escape groaned under their weight as Elle and Noah scrambled out into the night air. Rust flaked from the rails, the metal cold and damp beneath their palms. Below them, the street stretched like a graveyard. Overturned cars, shattered glass, small fires flickering where chaos had spilled into the night. Figures moved in the distance, staggering, aimless until the sound of a scream or crash would send them lurching with terrifying speed.
Elle clung to the railing, her breath coming fast and shallow. Oh God, there's so many. Can I actually survive this? These creatures are extremely strong, and they seem to have a lot of stamina.
Noah pressed his back to the wall, peering down the rusted ladder that led to the alley. His voice was low, firm. Keep your voice down. We don't want to draw them. I think we should target the head from here on out. When I stabbed the creature, it didn't even faze it. When you hit the creature in the head, that seemed to stop them, or at least temporarily stop them.
But Elle couldn't stop trembling. The smell of blood, smoke, and rot filled her lungs until her stomach twisted. Her hands shook as she wiped at the tears she didn't even realize had spilled down her cheeks. Noah, I don't want to slow you down, but when they come into view, I become terrified I'll do better. I promise.
Noah noticed. He reached out, steadying her shoulder. Hey, look at me. As she turned, her eyes wide, wet, terrified. We're alive, he said. His voice was quieter now, almost gentle. We made it out of the apartment. That's what matters. Damn it. Noah's eyes widened. He pulled her toward the platform and crouched, grabs his backpack. From the small kit he carried, he tore out a strip of cloth, wrapping it tightly around her hand. His movements were quick but careful.
The moment shattered with a sudden bang. A window above them slammed open. A pair of arms flailed wildly, and a man screamed as he was dragged backward into the darkness of his own apartment. The sound of tearing flesh followed, echoing into the night. Noah pulled her close, pushing her against the wall. His voice was barely a whisper. We can't stay here. If they come through these windows, we're trapped. Her eyes darted to the ladder leading down. So we go down.
He hesitated. Below, the alley was filled with shadows, some of them moving. Shapes hunched over, feasting on something Elle couldn't see clearly. Their wet, tearing sounds carried upward. Noah cursed under his breath. If we go down, we risk running into them. If we stay here, we're sitting ducks. The infected in the alley let out a guttural. The fire escape creaked again under their weight. Somewhere inside the building, another crash echoed. The infected were pressing in from all sides. Noah's grip on her hand tightened. His voice was grim, steady, but urgent. We decide. Now. Elle and Noah stand on the fire escape,
eyes scanning the alley below. The rusted ladder sways slightly, groaning with each gust of wind. Shadows pool in the alley, but movement stirs, not fast, but deliberate. The infected are down there. Noah glances at Elle's bandaged hand. Her face is pale, yet determined. "We go down," he whispers. "Stay low, stick to the wall. We move fast." They climb down, descending rung by rung. The building seems to groan around them, windows clattering, distant sirens wailing. As they reach the bottom, their feet hit concrete, cold, broken, stained. Up ahead, a flickering streetlight casts long shadows. A figure staggers near a burned-out car. Half its face is missing, jaw hanging. It doesn't see them yet, but it senses. Elle's breath constricts. Noah grips her arm. "Now!" They sprint across the street. A low moan rumbles, growing behind them. The infected staggers forward, reaching as they pass. A hand grazes Noah's shoulder. Neighboring building, glass shattered, doors ajar. Inside, the air is stale. Their footsteps echo. The stairs lead upward, brick and flickering emergency lights guiding them. Halfway up, Elle falters. Fear hits her again. She grips the railing, knees shaking. Noah holds her, steadying. "You're doing great," he murmurs. The stairwell opens onto a landing. From there, a door leads to the roof. They push it open. A blast of cool night air greets them. The roof is a plain of debris. Old satellite dishes, ventilation units, broken accent lighting. The city sprawls before them, fires glowing like fallen stars. Helicopter searchlights sweep the sky in distant rhythm. Rescue, or worse, could be above them. They collapse against a rooftop ledge, panting, trembling. Elle looks at Noah. "We made it." He nods, voice quiet. "For now." But neither of them will sleep. Not tonight. The rooftop was quiet for only a moment. Too quiet. Elle leaned against the low wall, clutching her bandaged hand. The faint thrum of helicopter blades echoed across the city, distant but real. Her heart surged. "Noah, do you hear that?" He nodded, eyes scanning the horizon. Searchlights cut across the night sky, sweeping over burning rooftops and smoke. For the first time since this nightmare began, hope flickered between them. But hope came with a price. The door behind them, the one leading back to the stairwell, slammed open with a metallic crash. Both of them spun. Figures stumbled through, their outlines jagged in the dim glow. 4, 5, more. Their groans carried on the wind, hollow and hungry. Elle's throat tightened. "Noah, run!" he barked. They bolted across the rooftop, weaving between old ventilation shafts and rusted air ducts. The infected poured after them, their steps uneven but relentless. Elle's foot caught on a loose cable, and she stumbled. One of the creatures lunged, its fingers grazing her shoulder. She screamed, shoving it back. Noah was there in an instant, his knife flashing. He drove the blade into its temple, jerking it free before pulling her up. "Keep moving!" he yelled, his voice raw. They reached the far side of the roof. A ladder led up to a higher platform, maybe the helipad, maybe salvation. But as Noah reached for it, the metal groaned. The top section had rusted away, dangling loose. It wasn't safe. Behind them, the horde grew closer. Hands clawed, teeth snapped. Noah's eyes darted, frantic. His gaze locked on a steel pipe lying across the roof. He grabbed it, swinging hard. The first infected crumpled with a sickening crack. The second staggered back, snarling.
Elle looked toward the ledge. The next building wasn't far, maybe 6 feet, maybe more. Her pulse hammered. "Noah, we can jump." He turned, disbelief in his eyes. "That's insane." "They'll kill us if we stay," she shouted. The infected surged forward. One leapt, slamming into Noah, knocking the pipe from his grip. They crashed to the ground, struggling, its snapping jaws inches from his face. "Noah!" Elle's scream split the night. Without thinking, she grabbed a broken piece of satellite dish and drove it into the creature's back. It screeched, then went limp. Noah shoved it aside, gasping for air. His eyes met hers, equal parts fury and gratitude. The rooftop shook with the thunder of more feet. The horde was almost on them. Noah stood, chest heaving, eyes burning. He looked at the ledge, then at her. We jump. Together. Elle nodded, her stomach twisting. They backed up, just enough to run. The infected closed in, arms outstretched. Their rotten stench filled the air. Noah grabbed Elle's hand, squeezing it hard. On 3. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. 1. The closest infected lunged, shrieking. 2. Their feet pounded the rooftop. 3. They leapt.
For a heartbeat, they were weightless, flying. The night air rushing past, the city roaring below. Then, impact. They hit the next rooftop, hard. Elle rolled, gasping as pain shot up her side. Noah landed beside her, grunting. The ledge crumbled slightly under their weight, but it held. Behind them, the infected slammed against the edge of the first rooftop, clawing, screaming, but unable to follow. Elle lay on her back, staring up at the stars, barely visible through smoke. Noah crawled to her side, his hand trembling as it brushed her hair back from her face. "We did it," he whispered. "We're still alive." But in the distance, the helicopters kept moving. They hadn't seen them. Rescue hadn't come. And below, the city groaned with the hunger of 1,000 more. "Do you think help will come?" Noah didn't answer immediately. His gaze swept over the rooftops, the alleys, the shadows where movement hinted at more of the undead below. Maybe, maybe not. But we keep moving. That's all we can do. A distant siren wailed, fading into the night. The faint thrum of helicopters rotated across the city, their searchlights cutting swaths of white across smoke-filled streets. But they didn't stop over their building. Not yet.
Elle shivered, pulling her jacket closer around her shoulders. Her hand instinctively found Noah's, and he squeezed it tightly. They had no words left, only the shared understanding that tonight had changed everything. Somewhere below, a faint groan echoed, reminding them that the dead were still out there, patient, relentless, hungry. Elle finally spoke, voice soft but firm. "Then we keep surviving together." Noah nodded. His jaw tightened, a mix of determination and exhaustion. Together.
Noah nodded. His jaw tightened, a mix of determination and exhaustion. Together. They sat there in silence for a moment longer, listening to the city breathing around them. The distant chaos, the fires, the occasional crash, all reminders that this world was broken, dangerous, and utterly unforgiving. But up here, on this roof, with their hands clasped and hearts still beating, they were alive. And in a world that had forgotten mercy, sometimes that was enough. Noah's eyes met hers, a glimmer of the man she knew before the world went mad. We did, and we'll survive tomorrow, too. We have to. The wind whipped across the roof, scattering ash and debris. The stars peeked through the smoke above, fragile and distant, but still there. Somewhere in the chaos, they knew the fight was far from over. But for now, they had each other. And that, in a city of the dead, was more than enough. They stayed together, watching the city, listening to the sounds of the world around them, ready for whatever came next. The night was long, the danger unending. But Elle and Noah had found a way to endure. And in a world gone mad, endurance was everything.